Hi, welcome to the High School Mindful Self-Compassion series. I'm Cheryl and I am a mindfulness teacher for people of all ages. I was a middle school teacher for many, many years and found mindfulness because of the stress and anxiety that I had. So I decided that I should be trained and practice in order to help others. I have found this immensely helpful, so I hope it's helpful to you as well. Because this is a recording, it will be just a little different than if you were in a live Zoom class. So I'm going to make sure that you provide some safety, which we'll be talking about as we continue on. You mostly will be hearing me talk, but you will also see some screens that I need to share with you for information. You should have a handout handy that you can look at, or if you don't have a printer, you can just follow along with my words and then stop the recording whenever you'd like to, so you can respond and do some reflective thinking in your journal or on a piece of paper. Because this is an online community, I have no idea who is watching this and who you are and what your needs are at all. So it's a little bit unsettling for me to not be able to be in person with you. So I want to make sure that you understand that it's important that you honor your feelings and your needs as we go through this. If it works for you to listen to a little bit at a time each day, that's fine. You can unwind this however it works for you, whatever your time permits. It's important that you have a quiet place to watch this, such as your room maybe, or wherever that might be. It's important that you dress comfortably and you are feeling in a safe place. So we will continue on. Just know that you can stop whenever you want to. There will be 2-hour or 1-hour segments of 2 hours in length for each of these series or sessions, just so you know. And I think that explains enough for us before we get started. So we will always begin with a opening or a meditation in order to bring us into this space, to bring some calm, some connection to yourself, some groundedness, some just feeling your body here, present right now. And so that's how we'll begin. So I invite you to find a quiet space if you're not already there. You can sit in a chair, or if you'd rather lie down for this one, you could do that too. If you're in a chair, I'd like you to sit up straight with your feet on the ground, or if you'd prefer, you can sit cross-legged in the chair. And all you need to do is just close your eyes and listen. I will say throughout this series, as much as I can remember, that if you are a person that has experienced great difficulty or are experiencing great difficulty, I invite you to do what's safe and feels comfortable to you. For some people, focusing on their breath doesn't feel good. Might feel a little scary. You might notice yourself tensing up. So if you're one of those people, there's a variety of things you can try. You can open your eyes and look at something in the room, some object that you just gaze at mindfully. Or you can listen to a sound that's in the room or outside, such as birds or cars passing by. So you decide and try whatever's right for you. But I invite you to stay with it. You might notice that you want to get up and you want to move, but it's all right. You can just notice those urges and just stay. None of the meditations will be that long, and I know you can do it. So go ahead and close your eyes. We'll begin with the sound of the bell. This is a grounding presence meditation, and it will be about 5 minutes. All right, let's begin. Breathing in, breathing out. listening to the sound of the bell, letting go of whatever experiences you've had today, allowing yourself to settle in your chair, feeling your feet on the ground, your body supported in a chair, your back resting against the chair, sitting upright, your eyes closed if that's comfortable for you, and your hands are resting gently in your lap. Feeling the weight of your body, feeling your feet on the ground. And we'll begin with 3 deep breaths. So breathing in deeply and fully into your belly, filling your belly into your chest. And when you're ready, you can let it go, leaving your body. Breathing in deeply again, filling your belly, feeling the expansion into your chest. And when you are ready, you can let it go. Perhaps allowing your body to settle a little, to become calmer, maybe soften. Another deep breath in, filling your belly fully, feeling that expansion, even like a massage, into your chest, and then letting it go. Feeling your body in the chair and allowing your breath to settle. No need to control it or change it in any way. Your body knows how to breathe, so just allow it to go back to its normal breathing pattern. You can just be the observer of your breath. Breathing in, breathing out. You may notice your mind wanders, your thoughts are busy. And when you do, just gently and kindly usher your breath back to your attention. You can even say to yourself, breathing in and breathing out. Noticing the movement of air as it comes in and leaves. It might even feel like you're being gently rocked. Our attention goes, and then we bring it back to our breath. And we just notice our breath in and out. Now bringing your attention again into your feet and noticing the sensations that are present in your feet. Perhaps there's a temperature there, cool or warm. Maybe you can feel your feet touching the ground, softness or roughness. You might even notice tingling or pulsing. Whatever you find there is fine. Just notice it. And continue on with your breath. Just feeling your body in the chair. And as you breathe in and out, if you notice there's tenseness or tightness somewhere in your body, you can just let your attention wander there and breathe into those places. Allowing your belly to relax, your shoulders to settle, your jaw to soften, and your forehead to relax. Just breathing in and breathing out. And bring your attention into the sounds in the room or outside of the room. What do you hear? Opening your eyes and seeing whatever is present in the room. Noticing the lines and the shapes and the colors, and even turning your head a little, just to bring yourself into the present moment. Breathing. Even bringing a smile to your face. Take a final breath in and a final breath out. And we will finish this meditation with the bell. Before we move on, notice how that felt to you. Notice if it was relaxing and calming, sleepy, awake, whatever you notice is information for you as we move through these practices. You'll notice that I'll be looking up and down as I look at my notes and look at handouts and things like that. So I apologize for that at the beginning. Please know that all of this can be found at my website, Teens Just Breathe, or at teensjustbreathe@gmail if you want to contact me. Your handout will look like this if you have it. So I'll refer to that. And the beginning quote here is a quote that we all need to hear. What if I fail? Oh, but darling, what if you fly? So enter this time with some compassion and patience with yourself as you begin learning something new. I'd like you to take a moment just to think, what is it that you need to be safe in this space? You can even stop the recording and reflect on that right now. What are your needs? What do you need to feel safe as you proceed through this series or this session? Do you need food? Do you need breaks? Do you need movement? Do you need to reach out to somebody and share this or talk about it with somebody? Do you need to process it a little bit? So as we go through this series, I invite you just to stop a moment and notice, how am I feeling? What am I needing right this moment? And then take steps to honor that. That is a habit we can learn to be compassionate to our beautiful selves. And it's one that I have to continually remind myself of as well. So I usually would stop and do a little bit of Zoom orientation here, but I don't really think that we need that. But what I would like to do is to show you my website. So I will do a quick share screen here and show you maybe what I have. And let's go up here. I want to just reiterate the safe online community, to remember to try the practices, do the best that you can, remembering that you have choices in how you participate with this, if you're full on with the breath and able to do those types of activities, or if you need to have your eyes open, or you need to listen to sounds, whatever that might be. Remember, honor your needs and your feelings. Remember, you can ask for help from me, from teachers, from parents, from trusted people. And you can always contact me at teensjustbreathe@gmail.com. Here's my website. And I just want to let you know that Teens Just Breathe has all kinds of things that are available for you. There are meditations here that are not on this series necessarily, but you can go there and you can look at them. So I will do a quick share on that. And you will notice that here are some meditations I did for this particular COVID time. And I have guided meditations here available. If for some reason you can't get hold of the ones that I have been sharing with you, here's all kinds of meditations here. And then we have the guided meditations for high school. And a lot of what we are doing in this class can be found here. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So moving on, we will exit this for now. And we will go to our next set part. So I think we're ready to begin now. Hopefully you've decided what your needs are and how you want to proceed here. And now we're going to talk a little bit about what is mindful self-compassion. I wonder if you've heard about that before, if you have any idea what you're here for, or why you're here, and if you've thought about why you are taking this class and what your needs are. But if not, I invite you as we go through this series for you to be able to do that. So mindful self-compassion is the idea that we can learn to take care of ourselves, that we can use mindfulness, which we'll talk about in the next session a bit more, to shine the spotlight on what is happening right now in this real time. What is happening in our bodies? Do we start noticing we have tightness, that we have tension, that we have heat, that we have pain? Do we notice we're all scrunched up like this? We can start noticing how we are and how we're feeling. What are we thinking? What are we feeling? How is our body feeling? All of those things get all wrapped up together to notice. And when we notice that we might be hurting or having a rough time or struggling, well, then what? Then what can we do about it? So a big part of this struggle is just noticing. Sometimes we're so used to just plodding on through pain and suffering and difficulties that we become numb to it. We become numb for ourselves. We become numb for the needs of us and what we need. We discount ourselves and we don't think we're that important, not important enough to take care of. Maybe we've received messages from outside that what we are and who we are is not okay. And that is what we're talking about here. So we notice, and then we take steps to take care of ourselves. And this class has been thoroughly researched. Self-compassion is a major field if you want to look that up when we're done with this class or as we go through this class. There have been lots of researchers that have really looked into the science of happiness and self-care. So I'm really excited to be able to share this information with you. So we bring in this self-compassion, this self-kindness as we move through this class. So I invite you to just do a little bit of a practice scenario here, and you're going to be standing up and stepping away from the computer, because all you really need to do is listen to me. So be in a space where you can move about and follow through to the best of your ability what I'm going to ask you to do. So you're standing up and you're imagining, which actually might be a nice imagination at this point, that you're at school. what maybe used to bring a whole lot of stress is maybe something you're really missing right now. But imagine yourself there on what used to be a normal school day, and you're done with class. You have a 5-minute break before you go to your next class. So you're relieved to be out of that class, and you're just strolling and talking to friends and noticing and saying hi. And you feel fairly relaxed for having just finished this class. So you're walking, strolling along, and all of a sudden you realize you've lost track of time and you don't have very much time left. You've got to get to class. So you start walking faster and then a little bit faster because you're really worried that this teacher is going to get mad at you for not getting to class on time. And you're over halfway there when you realize that you forgot that you have a test today. And it's really important that you get there so that you can get ready for the test. So you start walking faster and faster and faster, and you don't want to run and look silly in front of everybody else, but that's what you really want to do. And so you're walking faster and faster and faster in this room. So move quickly, go faster and faster and faster. And then freeze. Notice what's happened to your body in this scenario. Notice your heart. Is it beating faster? Notice the thoughts that are in your head, the panic maybe, or the I don't care, or oh no, I'm going to fail this test. Whatever is all wrapped up with your thoughts in that. Notice how your body is feeling. It might be tense, your shoulder and you might have been clenching a little bit. So relax that. Let that go. And notice how we're all wrapped up here with our thoughts in our body. And when we start noticing this tightness and this tenseness and these signals that our body is sending us, we can begin to ease and breathe and then let it go. So I invite you to stop a moment and just notice what that felt like for you. And there is a section on your handout that says, noticing physical sensations. What happens to you when you think of a difficult situation or stressful situation? What happens to you in your body? Remember, we talked about maybe it's heartbeats, maybe it's heat, maybe it's cold, maybe it's fear, maybe it's thinking. What happens to you? So I invite you to stop this recording right now and to go ahead and write about that for a moment. And when you're ready, you can come back. So I welcome you back into this next piece of this class called How Would I Treat a Friend? So I'd like you to take a look at these statements up here. Pick the one that most resonates or calls out to you. Just pick one. Maybe you can relate to all of them, but just pick one. A time you felt excluded from a group or called out or embarrassed in some way. Or a time you felt you did not live up to your standards. Maybe it was a quiz or test or homework. Maybe it was a sporting event or music, something to do with athletics. Or a time you said or did something you regretted. Perhaps it was with a friend, a parent, a sibling, a teacher, or somebody else. So pick just one of these to do this practice with. So I'll give you a moment to think about that. Which one do you want to pick? Now, typically, when we are in person for this, we do this together. And you will be needing to do this on your own. And it will be important for you to write about this and reflect as you go through this and process it. All right, you've picked one. And if you haven't written this down yet on your handout, you could do that if you'd like to. You could stop this so you can do that, or not. So let's begin. You're sitting in a chair, sitting upright. Eyes are closed, or your gaze can be open at some object in the room. Breathing in, breathing out. Noticing your body grounded in the chair. Your feet are on the floor. And you're resting comfortably, just breathing in and breathing out. Noticing if you're finding any calm with this situation. And then you can say to yourself what the situation was: exclusion, not living up to your standards, or something you said or did, whatever one you picked. Close your eyes and notice what you are feeling inside. Take a moment to notice and pay attention to how you would treat a friend in this situation. What would you say to them? What would they like to hear? Imagine yourself with this friend. Perhaps giving advice, perhaps comforting. And once you have an idea, I'd like you to stop this recording and go to your handout and go ahead and do some reflective thinking. I invite you to take up to 5 minutes to think about this. What would you say to your friend? What would you tell them? What advice would you give your friend? So go ahead and stop the recording. And go ahead and write. As we regather from that thought of what you would tell your friend, notice what it felt like in your body. Notice how it felt to comfort and give this person or your friend advice. Notice how you felt towards them and how they might have felt towards you. You might have felt some empathy with them, some warmth with them, maybe even some gratitude. It could be that your body feels fairly open and relaxed, or maybe it feels a little tense. You can check that out and see how that feels. But allow that to settle and to really feel what it's like to help a friend. And imagine what it feels like to them to receive that kind of kindness and care. Now I invite you to close your eyes again. And this time, ask yourself, if the same situation happened to you, what would you say to yourself? What words would first come to you? What would you feel or say to yourself if you felt excluded from a group? What would you say to yourself if you did not live up to your standards? What would you say to yourself if you said or did something you regretted? Don't censor your words. What would you say to yourself? Notice the words you say to yourself. And perhaps you're noticing that these are words you say to yourself frequently when things don't go as well as you would like. What is that self-talk or that inner critic saying to you? Once you have an idea of what those words are, I'd like you to stop the recording again, go back to your handout, and write. Make sure you write this down. It's important that you take the time to honor those words that you say to yourself, to bring them out into the light, to let them out there for you to really experience and see. So stop the recording and go ahead and write. What words do you say to yourself? Take a good 5 minutes for this. If you're still listening and you're not really sure what to write, or you haven't stopped the recording yet, notice your thoughts. Things like, oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. I'm a loser. Nobody likes me. Or maybe your feelings are hurt or frustration or anger. You want to lash out. You want to beat up yourself. Or maybe you're just feeling this tightness and tenseness or pain from this feeling of defeat or not being good enough. So make sure you take the time to write what those words are. If you'd rather draw what it feels like, you can draw it too. Even when we're done with this session today, if you like to draw, you could draw an image of what it looks like to beat yourself up, or draw an image of what your inner critic looks like. Maybe what color is it? Maybe even it has a name. I know people who have named their inner critic, like Lucy. Say, there's Lucy sitting on my shoulder beating me up. Or maybe music is your thing and you can write or sing a song to really bring that inner critic to life, to really let it out and notice it. So if you've done your journaling, you've done your reflective thinking, you've taken time to really allow this inner critic to soak in, to notice what it feels like when you beat up on yourself like this. And to notice maybe how long you've been practicing this inner critic beating up and believing the stories that your inner critic is telling you. Notice the pain that causes. We are so tough on ourselves. If we treated our friends like we treated ourselves, we would never have friends. Notice this. Were the words you said to your friend the same words you said to yourself? Did you tell your friend they're losers or that nobody likes them anyway? Did you tell your friend to just get over it? I'm guessing most of you had different words for your friends than you did for yourself. As I said, we are our own worst critic. We can bring self-compassion and shine that kindness on ourselves when we notice we're doing it. So we can bring that spotlight of awareness. We can notice that tightness and tension in our body, which is usually what we do when we're beating up on ourselves or when we're overthinking the situation, like, you can let that go. And we're going to be learning some other ways that you can learn to treat yourself. We know with self-compassion research that people who are kinder to themselves are more successful, are more happy, are able to experience failure without falling apart. So this is a strength to develop self-compassion. It is not for the weak of heart. It helps develop your strength, your inner strength, so you know that you can overcome things as you move through your life. So I'm going to exit this for a moment and come back to all of you and continue on with the talk. Again, if you need any kind of a break as we move through this, please make sure this is a recording, so you get to decide to do that. So let's talk more about what self-compassion is. And you might even want to do these movements with me in order to really try to allow it to sink in. So self-compassion has 3 parts to it. The first part, as I've mentioned, is mindfulness. So mindfulness is an idea that we can shine a spotlight on. So I'd like you to take your hands and just clench your fist as hard as you can. Just clench it and clench it and clench it. And notice what's happening to me in my face, and notice what's happening to your face, and notice how tight my voice is getting. And it doesn't feel very good. It feels I can't even breathe right now. And relax and open. Breathe. This tightness is our inner critic sitting on our shoulder, this Lucy. It doesn't feel good. It feels very tight and tense. When we release that, we open. We are open to what's going on. We're softening. We can breathe. And this is mindfulness. Just this openness, this willingness to just notice things as they are. The next part of compassion or self-compassion is if you could imagine me and my arms are stretched out like we're in a big circle and we're almost hanging onto hands, or we are hanging onto hands. This is the idea of common humanity. This is a key piece as well, because it's the idea that we're all human beings. We're all in this together. We are all connected. As a teenager, you might feel like you're all alone, or you're separate, or you're different, or if people really knew you, they wouldn't like you. But that's just not true. We are all connected. We all have feelings. We all hurt and suffer and screw up and do things we wish we wouldn't have. And it's okay. So we can recognize that everybody else is in the same boat as we are. We're all human. We are so much more alike than we are different. So there's a mindfulness piece, the awareness. There's the common humanity. We're all connected together. Even if you can't see people, we are all connected. And then the last part, if you put your hand on your heart, this represents kindness. Once we understand that we can see that we're having a hard time, once we realize we're not alone, then we can practice some kindness. We can start looking at ourselves. What do we need in this moment? Maybe we need a break. Maybe we need to breathe. Maybe we need a rest. Maybe we need food. Maybe we need company. We need to be with friends. We need to socialize. Those are all key ingredients. Maybe we need to exercise. Those are our basic human needs that we all have. It's more challenging in this COVID time because it's harder to connect with others. We're kind of on our online connection right now, so I'm connected to you as we go through this. So mindful self-compassion is, again, bringing mindfulness or awareness, this common humanity, we're all together, connected, and then the kindness. So as we move through these series or these sessions, we'll be talking about how to do that. So we'll be unfolding it. In your handout, you can move to the next piece of this, which is going to be learning what we can do. And we'll be having a series of meditations to help us figure that out. All right, if this is a point where you would like to take a break because we will be sitting a while, go ahead and stop this recording and be ready to come back. You might want to stretch your legs, take a stretch, do something that will help you be ready to sit a little bit more. You might even want to just stop and reflect on what we've learned so far. You might want to notice this inner critic of yours. You might want to honor any kind of pain or suffering that you have been feeling over the years. These stories that you've told yourself that are just not true. As I mentioned, we are our own worst critic. We don't need to believe these unkind, destructive stories about ourselves. Even though that inner critic's going to say, oh, yes, you are. Instead, just allow that to go. Okay, there's that inner critic. There's Lucy. Lucy's sitting over here. I'm going to let Lucy be there, but I know better. I know that I can take care of myself, and I know I'm perfectly fine and perfectly okay. It's normal to want to fit in and be a part of the crowd. It's normal as a teenager to just have a rough time. And we'll be learning more later about what's going on in your brain, why that's so. It's a developmental piece. It's also a human piece, as I've been mentioning. So you are okay. You are perfectly okay. And that's a good place to be. So when you are ready, we'll begin this next piece, practice called soothing touch. So another thing that we might be missing these days is the social connection, the ability to hug others and have that human touch connection with other people. That's so important. Maybe our families are not the huggy types where we don't normally show affection to one another. Maybe you're not comfortable with having hugs or human touch. So we're all in different places at different times. And there's no judgment here or right or wrong, but we do know that having touch is really, really important. And sometimes we can just give it to ourselves. And there is a feel-good hormone called oxytocin that gets released when there is human touch. So we're going to be going through some different kinds of things to see. I wonder if there's one particular touch that feels good to me. So stay with me, even though you might be feeling skeptical. Allow that skeptical mind to sit aside over here. Try to open it up a little bit and just notice and see what your degree of comfort might be. So go ahead and close your eyes once again. Take a breath in and a breath out. Another breath in, allowing your body to settle and relax. Another breath in In, out. Just breathe. Just be. And let's just be curious and explore a soothing touch. So we'll begin with one hand on your cheek and the other hand supporting it. Or if you just simply want to rest your elbow on a table, if you have that, you can do that. But we're just sitting up, resting comfortably, breathing in and breathing out, and noticing what that feels like. Breath in, breath out, feeling the smoothness of your cheek and your hand, allowing your chin to just rest in your hand. Just breathing, feeling supported. And now maybe put both hands to support your chin and your face, and just allow your face to rest there. Breathing deeply in and deeply out. Enjoying these sensations if it feels good to you. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay, let's try another one with your eyes still closed. Gently holding your arms, maybe even with a little squeeze if that feels good, or a little hug. Breathing in, breathing out. Continuing to allow your body to soften and settle. Letting go of tension as you breathe out. And as you breathe in, feeling the softness and the goodness of this self-hug. And then we'll move on to another one. Place a hand on your heart. As you breathe in, feel the warmth, the softness. And as you breathe out, again, letting go of tension. Maybe you can feel your heartbeat. Maybe you can feel the warmth there. The steadiness of your breath. The rising and falling of your chest. Now place another hand over your heart if that feels good. Breathing. Just checking out what this feels like to you right now. Noticing how your body responds to this soothing touch. And now you can place one or two hands on your belly. Breathing in and breathing out. Feeling the warmth. You can even experiment if it feels good to have one hand on your heart and one on your belly. Feeling the rise and fall of your breath. Sometimes if there's lots of tension, it might feel good to just rub your belly gently in a circle. Just breaking up the tenseness and the tightness. And just breathing it out and in. Relaxing with each breath. And now go ahead and experiment with both hands in your lap, just one hand cupping the other as your hands rest on your lap. Perhaps that's the comfort that you enjoy and is soothing to you. As we move through these different gestures, you get to decide which is most comforting to you, which feels best. We continue with our breath. And now, out of all of the soothing touches we used and tried, go ahead and do the one that feels best to you right now. Face, heart, belly, hug, or in your lap. And we'll take a few more deep breaths, just savoring the warmth and the softness of this touch. Breathing in and breathing out. Thinking of times that you could use this. Just noticing how you're feeling and paying attention to yourself with kindness makes such a big difference. Even a little gesture like this. Taking the time out for a small break. It doesn't have to be long. It can just be 5 breaths in and out. Noticing that you might be sad or frustrated or feel alone. Just noticing that and giving yourself a soothing touch makes all the difference in the world. You don't have to wait for someone else to notice your feelings. You can learn to take care of your own feelings. And then you can decide to reach out if you choose. When you're ready, coming back into the room, dropping your hands into your lap, and opening your eyes. Notice how you feel after that. I know I feel relaxed. One of the benefits of me being able to teach classes like this is I get to do it too. And it really feels good to me. I'd like you to reflect on how it felt to you on your handout. You'll notice that there's a little box there. And notice which soothing touch did you like best, and just write that down. We're all very different when it comes to this. And if you have experienced some type of a body trauma, maybe this is really hard for you. Maybe you can imagine it. Maybe you can imagine yourself in a safe place and deciding what you might need and what feels good to you for this moment. It can always change. So stop the video a moment, please. Go ahead and write your honest reactions and take a moment, maybe 5 minutes, to reflect. And if we were in a live Zoom, we would be stopping for 5 minutes. We would be sharing with somebody how it went. And I invite you to do the same thing. So go ahead and stop this, please. Spend some time writing and thinking. We'll be back in a few. All right, we're coming back. I hope you've spent some time reflecting on the soothing touch. You've noticed what feels good to you. I know for me, I'm usually a heart person, but sometimes I'm a belly and a heart. If I'm feeling really anxious, of which I have been feeling a lot lately, I might rub my belly. I might do some really deep breathing to breathe it in and just breathe it all out. And I imagine just like a giant vacuum sucking in all that anxiety and then shooting it right out and down my legs. If I'm feeling really anxious, I might even just need a self-hug and just tell myself, you're okay. It's okay. It's going to be all right. And breathe and loosen untighten yourself. Those are pieces that we can all give ourselves, and it feels so much better. So mindful self-compassion is all about paying attention to what's really happening with you, what you're feeling, what you're needing. To notice that everybody's in this together. Every single one of us has troubles and suffering and difficulties, and things suck for everybody. And right now, in particular, things might be really, really hard. You might have to be sheltering in place. You might be involved in all of the racial, racism tension that's happening in the world right now. You might be noticing all of the things that are going wrong in our world right now. It's really hard not to get swept away with all of that. You might be caught up in your feelings of loneliness and isolation and wanting to be loved and wanting to be accepted. These are all just part of our experience. We are all feeling right now. Know that you are not alone. Know that everybody else in the world is having some difficulties. And so what can we do? How can we address this? How can we take care of ourselves? What do we need? Those are our constant questions. And one thing we know is we can do this soothing touch. We know that it's researched. We know it releases the feel-good hormone oxytocin. I have to take continual breaks throughout my day and just stop and breathe, and maybe sometimes go in nature and listen to the birds sing. So we're going to move on now. Again, if you need to stop and you need to move and you need to take a break, do that, because we're going to do another practice. So this one's called A Moment for Me. I really like this one. This is a little bit lengthier as I explain and unwind it to you. But this is such a portable one, like the soothing touch, that you can do it anywhere, anytime, without really having to close your eyes. So the trick is remembering to do it, to notice you're having trouble, to notice things aren't going well for you, and then to take steps to take care of yourself. So get yourself in a comfortable position. I'm going to take a little drink of water. Sitting upright in your chair, hands in your lap, eyes are closed. Taking a breath in and a breath out. Sometimes it feels good to take a big belly breath in and then a visible sigh out. Whatever feels good. Another deep breath in, a big belly breath, filling it up. And then letting it go. Bringing your attention into your breath. Allowing your breath just to breathe. Your body just to breathe. Making sure you can feel your feet on the ground and your body in a chair. Remembering that if you need to open your eyes and look at an object in the room, or look at an object and listen to sounds around you, you decide what you need. Focusing on your breath, eyes open, or listening to sounds. Continuing with your breath. I invite you to think of a situation that has happened recently with you. It has caused you some distress. It has caused you some difficulty. Your mind might zip immediately to a really awful, horrible situation. But I invite you to not go to the most difficult thing in your life right now. We're just learning. We're just practicing. We can take baby steps here. So think of just a medium difficult situation. Not the easiest that doesn't cause any kind of a feeling, but something kind of in the middle. And as you think of this situation, remember to continue breathing. And you can say to yourself, this is a moment of suffering. This sucks. This is difficult. This is hard. But this is a moment I'm having a hard time right now. As you say this to yourself, you can know that this is a moment of mindfulness. You are bringing this into your awareness, calling it to your attention, that this is hard. And we continue with our breath in and our breath out. And we can follow that with, but I know I'm not alone. Everyone feels this at some time or another. Everyone struggles. All teens have a hard time. It's not easy. I am not alone. I am connected with hundreds of thousands and millions of other teens in this world, maybe even at this very moment. So this is understanding the common humanity that we all are alike in this way. So we begin by noticing this is a moment. This is hard. Following it with, I'm not alone. I'm connected. And then the third step is bringing some kindness and some soothing touch. So whatever soothing touch you like, go ahead and give yourself that soothing touch now. This kindness, this self-kindness. Breathe it in and breathe it out. Allow yourself to just loosen a little and soften a little. As you say to yourself, this is hard. I'm not alone. What do I need? Perhaps it's just a soothing touch. Perhaps it's kind words to yourself. You're okay. It's gonna be okay. Just as you would for a good friend. What are the words you need to hear right now? Give yourself those words. Everyone has troubles. Everyone has these setbacks. I'm not alone. I'm okay. It's going to be all right. These feelings will not last forever. I can take care of myself. I can ask for help. I can reach out. I have lots of choices. Breathing in, breathing out. Noticing these 3 steps, acknowledging this is difficult, bringing in common humanity, everyone has hard times, and ending with a soothing touch and kindness. What do I need right now? Breathe in the softness and the goodness of this, knowing that you can do this anytime throughout your day. You notice you are struggling. You notice you're having a hard time. If you feel like it, you can give yourself a little hug. Maybe bring a little smile to your face. Maybe even like, this feeling will pass. When you're ready, you can open your eyes, come back. You can look at your hand out again. And maybe there's some words that you'd like to remember to say to yourself when your inner critic is busy, when you're having a hard time, when you're suffering. Maybe there's something you'd like to be able to say to yourself. Can I accept myself just as I am? We all have a hard time. Everyone has this kind of thing happen to them. I'm not alone. I have so much good in me, so much right with me, so much more right with me than not. I'm just like everybody else. We all have these feelings. So I invite you to notice how this went for you. And again, stop the recording. Take a moment, 5 minutes, to write and reflect. If you have someone you can share this with, you can do that. When you're done writing, maybe you want to stretch, take a walk, come back, so that we can finish up our final meditation. And when you come back, I hope you've done your writing. I hope you've done your journaling and your reflecting and you haven't skipped these parts. It's really important. We have to go from our head into our body, this felt sensation. We have to get out of this head so we can feel our hearts. So we can bring to light what we're thinking here, what our inner critic is saying. And so we can bring to light, make the habit, write it down so you can remember what you can do in the future, the next time this happens. Because it will happen. It will happen over and over and over again. We'll get lots and lots of practice here. Life is not that easy. Whoever told you, if you think it's supposed to be easy and you've really screwed up because it's not easy, that's just not true. Life is tough. There's good moments, but there's lots and lots of hard, challenging moments too. And being a teen is not easy. It's difficult. It doesn't last forever, and there's lots of good and fun parts to it. But it can be really hard. So we need to be our best friend, our best advocate, and pull out all the stops to take good care of ourselves. So if you haven't moved, I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. I'd like you to stand up and do a stretch, maybe like this, and a deep breathe in. And over this way, another deep breath in. And maybe you want to round your shoulders a little bit and let it shake out. Maybe you want to swing a little bit. Or whatever movement you need. Shaking is a good thing to do to just get rid of tension. Kind of moves yourself into dance if you like to dance. Then you just breathe in and out. Sometimes tapping on your head feels good. Gently, not pounding. You can try different spots for the tapping. And breathing. Different spots on your face or your chest. Getting movement in there. The key is to not just sit with it and let it stay there. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger if we can't find a way to release and if we can't find a way to help ourselves. And if I haven't stressed exercise enough, it's so important to move for your physical health, for your mental health, for your emotional health. Get outside. There's not a lot else we can do right now, so get outside. Hang out, do the safe social distancing with friends and family. Play basketball, soccer, tennis, run, do yoga, get on your bike, go boating, get on your paddleboard, go swimming, whatever that might be. Get outside. All right, we're getting ready now to do our last meditation. And when we're finished with this, I'll review what we've talked about today. And I'm going to ask you to make a commitment today or tomorrow, before the next time we do a session, to do one practice. I will probably repeat this again and again. If we don't practice and do this every single day, when we really need it, we won't remember to do it. We won't be able to help ourselves in the way we need to. So I invite you to find a time and a place For me, my time is first thing in the morning, because if I don't do that, I probably won't, unless I'm having a really hard day, in which case I will do it again. And a place. And for me, it's my bedroom where it's safe and quiet and cozy. I have a chair there. I have a pillow that I like to use. Actually came from a local artist that I just love. So sometimes I might sit there and I might hug that. I might have a blanket with me. So think about what your place would be like that would be comfortable for you. I like to sit cross-legged in a chair. Some people lie down, but I caution you that it's easy to fall asleep and to not focus as much. And for me, it doesn't work very well. So you'll have to experiment with that. So a time and a place that you promise you're going to do every single day. Make that commitment. Invite a family member or a friend to help you remember to do it. Do 5 minutes. Most of these meditations are about 10 minutes, or if not a little bit longer. I know high school students can do that. You are very capable of doing it. It's your mind that will get in the way of going, I don't want to do that right now. I don't want to do that. Instead, just go, okay, mind, I hear you, but I'm going to do this anyway. And hear my voice encouraging you to practice this. So that being said, we are going to do a compassionate friend. And this meditation, again, will be about 10 minutes or so. It will be the last one of this session. So you can pat yourself on the back right now, congratulating yourself on a job well done or almost done. Notice how you're feeling as we've moved through this. Notice some of the big lessons that we've learned. And maybe even you're going to have a big takeaway, which I'll invite you to think about when we're finished. So that being said, we are in our chair once again, making friends with that chair, feeling our body in the chair, feet on the floor, or cross-legged if that's better for you. Hands in our lap, eyes are closed, or gazing at an object in the room. We'll take a moment here to go within. Listen to the bell and we will begin. Allowing your eyes to close. Begin by taking a few deep breaths in and out. Breathing in deeply into your belly, filling your belly into your chest. And when you're ready, letting it go. Taking another deep breath into your belly and chest, filling it up completely. And when you're ready, letting it go, allowing any tension or tightness to drain out. And another deep breath in. And when you're ready, allowing it to go, relaxing shoulders and face and jaw, and settling into your chair. Now, turning your attention toward your breath, and just feel your body breathing in and breathing out. Aware that you are breathing in, aware that you are breathing out. Take a few moments to allow yourself to imagine a place that you feel safe, comfortable, and relaxed. This can be a real or imagined place. but a place that allows you to breathe comfortably and let go of any worry. Perhaps this place is in nature, such as the beach, a place in the woods near a brook or stream, a field or meadow. Or maybe it's in a corner of your bedroom or the comfort of a good friend's house. Imagine this place in as much detail as you can. Notice what it looks like, the lines and the shapes and the shadows and the light, the colors, the objects in there. Notice the sounds, such as the crashing of the waves or the gurgling of the stream, or the rustling of the wind in the trees. Maybe you can hear birds singing out your window, or cars going by. Notice the smells that identify this safe place. But most of all, notice what you feel like in this place. Notice what it feels like to be in a place that feels safe and comfortable and relaxed. You can be just you. Breathing in and breathing out in your safe place. Feeling the tension drain away. Feeling your body relax and settle into your safe place. Now soon you'll receive a visitor, a warm and kind friend. This is someone who loves you completely and accepts you exactly for who you are. This can be a real person, like a friend of yours, a beloved grandparent, or a favorite teacher. Or it can be a character from a book you've read, a pet, or even a hero or heroine from a comic book or a movie. Or it can be some being that you create from your own imagination. Imagine this warm and kind friend. Imagine them in as much detail as possible, what they might look like, what their body might be doing, their face might be doing, warm and inviting and maybe smiling at you, comfortable in their body and their space and their place. Imagine this being in as much detail as possible, especially how it feels to be in his or her presence. What does it feel like to you? How do you respond to this kind and caring friend? Your compassionate friend cares deeply about you and just wants you to be happy. Maybe this brings a smile to your face, or you can feel yourself settling and relaxing even more. You have a choice. You can either go out from your safe place to meet your friend, or you can invite them in. So imagine that you are doing that now. Allow yourself to sit with the person at just the right distance, whether it's in your safe place or away from it, feeling completely comfortable and safe, completely accepted and loved. Take a moment to enjoy how you feel in the presence of your compassionate friend. This being is here with you now and can understand exactly what it's like to be you, exactly where you are in your life right now, and understands precisely what you struggle with. And this person or being accepts and understands you completely for who you are, perhaps in a way that no one else does. Now, this person or being has something important to say to you, something which is just what you need to hear right now. See if you can listen closely for the words they want to share, or perhaps you just hear it in your own mind. Words that are comforting and supportive, words that show the acceptance and kindness and genuine friendship from this person. What are the words that you would like to hear right now that your friend would like to share with you? Perhaps this is even a moment you would like a soothing touch, as if your friend was giving you a hug, or as if you were holding your heart and savoring these kind words, and holding yourself in your own heart. And if no words come, that's okay. Just enjoy being in the presence of your compassionate friend. And now, maybe you have something to say to this friend. This friend is a very good listener and completely understands you. Is there anything you'd like to say to them? And now, enjoy your friend's good company for the last few moments. And then bid your friend farewell, knowing that you can invite them back whenever you need to. Perhaps a smile on your face and theirs as you say, see you later. And now you are alone in your safe place again. Let yourself savor what just happened. Perhaps reflecting on the words you heard, the words that you needed to hear at this moment. And before this meditation ends, please remember that this compassionate friend is a part of you. The presence you felt and the words you heard are a deep part of yourself. The comfort and safety that you felt is there within you at all times. Know that you can return to this safe place and to this compassionate friend whenever you need to. Taking a breath in and a breath out, and feeling your connection to the ground and to the earth as I ring the bell and bring this to an end. Opening your eyes and taking a moment to reflect, and again, some time to journal. How did this go for you? Were you able to find a safe and comfortable place? And if so, where was it? I know for me, it's often the beach. I love the water. I love the sound of the crashing waves. I like it in the winter, in the summer, in the spring, in the fall. And this summer, I may not get there as much. So I can still bring that to my imagination. We do have bodies of water that are nearby, maybe rivers, streams. Maybe it's the woods for you. Maybe it's your room. And then, were you able to bring in a compassionate friend? What went through your mind as you sorted through who this would be? Hopefully, you found somebody who was not threatening you, who did not cause a kind of a rub for you. And it's surprising to notice how many people or loved ones in your life do cause kind of a little bit of friction, kind of a bit of a rub, like, ooh, I don't know. So that's why we bring in pets, we bring in fictional characters. Grandparents are often okay in that arena. A coach, a minister, a counselor. Maybe they are people that came to your mind. And if you couldn't think of anyone, you can reflect on that some more and see maybe some other ideas will come to your mind. To have this safe place and a safe person to call. And then finally, what kind of words were you able to hear? What kind of words did you need? Were they things like, it's okay, you're all right, it's going to be okay, it won't last forever, I'm your friend, I'm here for you, I love you and I accept you? And if you hear the inner critic coming in there going, well, who could love me? I'm just not good enough. Or no, it's not going to end. It's always going to be like this. If you hear that kind of critical thinking rumination, you can let it go and let these kind words come in instead whenever you hear that. So if we were doing this live in person, guess what? I would have you stop and I would have you do 5 minutes of journaling and reflecting, and there is a place on your sheet to do that. So I invite you to stop this recording again. Don't just rush on through it, but spend time processing, allowing this stuff to sink in and to settle in, allowing yourself the space and the room to breathe it and to feel it and to experience it. So go ahead and stop the recording, do some writing, some thinking, and then when you're ready, come back for our final piece. So welcome back. We are going to finish today with my challenge and invitation to you to practice this. And here's what I'd like you to take a look at. As I said earlier, it's important to find a time and a place to do this. It would be probably helpful to have a journal so that you can write what you're experiencing, so you can remember some of these big ideas that we've been learning. This idea of mindfulness, paying attention on purpose, of common humanity, we're all in it together. And this idea of kindness for ourselves. The more we can interrupt that inner critic, the more we can think of how we would treat a friend and that we could actually treat ourselves like a friend. The more we can do that and practice it, the stronger that signal comes in our brain. So I really urge you to try this one more time in the next 24 hours. Remember, I do mine in the morning in my bedroom. Make a plan, stick with it. Bring in a friend or a parent or a sibling to help you with it. Even invite them to do it with you and listen with you. So the practices are either a moment for me, and that's where you said, I'm having a hard time, everybody else does too, soothing touch, and what do I need? There's that one. And then there's the compassionate friend one that we just did, where you imagine yourself in a safe place with a kind friend, with that kind friend giving you kind words. So you should have my email, there it is, my website, and you should have access to the guided meditations. So I invite you to check my website for that, or the email, or the handout is linked to it as well. So you have 3 ways of getting these meditations. And let's see if I have one more slide before we finish. Nope, I don't. So the words here on your handout say, it is not your job to like me, it is mine. And that is our job for all of us. So I thank you for being with me today. I wish you love and kindness and happiness and some joy today. Take a little break for yourself. Take care of yourself. And I will see you later.